Build a life worth living. 360 success. 360 success.
Hey friends, welcome back to the show. I'm Dr. Ryan Knight with 360 Success Podcast. Let's talk about, have you been feeling stuck lately? I know I have for a little bit. Last year specifically, it was a rough time. And so, or maybe you've been down in the last few months or something's just been off. Maybe it's in your business or your relationships or maybe just your motivation. Maybe you found yourself saying, I wish I could just get back to where I used to be, back to where I was more motivated, more focused, more connected. But what if that isn't the problem? What if the reason you're not climbing is because you're aiming too low? I'll say that again. What if the reason you're not climbing or ascending is because you're aiming too low? What if God has something higher for you, but you're limiting yourself, trying to go backwards instead of rising forward? Let's unpack that. Look, when life feels heavy, our natural instinct is to retreat to what we know, to what's comfortable. We long for the old us or the old times, the good old times, we like to say sometimes. We wish for the season where things made more sense because sometimes we're in the middle of growth and it's heavy and maybe there's turmoil. But that version of you, that level of life, wasn't meant to be your destination. It was just a step. Let me say it clearly. You've outgrown that level. That's why you can't go back. I'll say it again. You've outgrown that level. That is why you're not going back. Trying to get back to who you were is like trying to force yourself into clothes that you've outgrown. You were never meant to shrink back into the old blessings. You were made to stretch and reach for the new ones. Let's talk a little bit about what I call the Manna Principle. You remember the story of manna in the Bible? God provided food every day for the Israelites in the desert, but every day it came with one condition. They only went out and gathered enough for that day, except for the day before the Sabbath. They would gather 2 days, but let's just stick with the one day. And if you would have tried to save the manna over till the next day, it would have spoiled. The message is, and I believe it was John Eldridge that said this, yesterday's manna will never suffice or serve you for today. You can't live today off yesterday's provision. You can't lead your business with yesterday's energy or last year's energy. You can't grow your relationship with last season's habits. You can't fulfill your calling with an outdated vision. Every new day requires a new dose of faith, of discipline, of hunger. Like Zig Ziglar once said, people often say motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Let's talk about why we keep reaching back to that old version. And there's really two big reasons. It's comfortable to return to what we know. And our brain likes familiar. Our nervous system likes familiar. We know what we can expect. We know what's going to happen. It's predictable. That unknown feels risky, feels a little uneasy. But here's what I've learned. Growth always costs comfort. Let me say that again. Growth will always cost comfort on some level. If you're feeling off, stuck, or tired, maybe it's not burnout. Maybe it's just misalignment. Maybe you're not tired from too much work. Maybe you're tired from doing the wrong work or the wrong way, from striving to reclaim a season God already has moved you past. Here's the truth. We're not supposed to go back. We're being called forward to something bigger, deeper, higher, if you will. And that requires us to stop idolizing who we were and idolizing yesterday and, again, the quote unquote good old days. And we are to start becoming who we were meant to be. So what do you do when you feel stuck? Here are 3 things you can start today. 1, get quiet. Turn down the volume of the distractions and make space to hear again. And really ask, what is the plan you have for me? What am I supposed to be? That vision that you've had that you were scared to go for, that may be the very thing you're supposed to be going for. So don't shrink back from it because of fear, but get quiet and get centered and think about what does God have for me? What is the dream that He's already placed in my heart? Number 2, get honest. Where are you settling? Where are you aiming too low? You've got to get real and really focus down on what you've been doing and what you've been getting. The next thing is number 3, get moving. Do not wait for full clarity. Obedience doesn't require a full roadmap. It just requires the first step. The pit you're in, what if it's not punishment? It may feel like it, but what if it's not? What if instead of punishment, it's actually preparation? God may not be trying to restore the old you. He might be trying to reveal the next you, the one that looks more like what he created you to be. Look, if you've been feeling stuck, I want to challenge you today. Stop asking, how do I get back to where I was? And start asking, what's the new level I'm being prepared for? Don't settle for old manna. Like I said, yesterday's manna will never sustain us for today. And don't live today on leftovers from yesterday's vision either, because you've got a new one. There's a new level for you. There's a new level that God has for you. God has something fresh, something better, but you have to show up ready for it. Let go of the old you so the next version can rise. Here's the final quote I want to leave you with. One of my favorites. What got you here won't get you there. What got you to where you are right now will not get you to where you are going and where God has planned for you. He has a new version that he's going to grow. It's already in you. Everything's in you. We just have to bring it out. Proverbs says, the heart of man is like deep waters, almost like a deep well. It says, but a man of understanding will draw it out. So let today be that day where you stop climbing back and start climbing higher. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this has stirred something in you, please send it to a friend or leave us a review. And remember, we weren't made to live off leftovers. Today's mission needs today's manna, today's energy. So get out there, get it fresh, and keep climbing. And I'll see you next time. And remember, let's build a life worth living.
Build a life worth living.